and I was in a group of like 35-year-old men, and someone was like, "Oh, my favorite movie is The Joker," and I was like, and my face flushed and my hands went white, and someone said, "My favorite's The Joker too. I love The Joker." I heard someone screaming and I realized it was me. I was just trapped in this situation where I'm like with 4 men all talking about how they love The Joker, and I'm like, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
And I just started running and running.
Good boys. La la la. La la la. Good boys.
Goal.
Goal.
So let's address the rumors right away. I am dressed like a referee.
We got someone to be after this.
It's one of Max's sexual fantasies, and I agreed that I would do it just for today.
Yeah, for you to wear my girlfriend's shirt and judge how well I've done. Tell me if I'm playing fair, Daddy.
I don't know what they
don't
do.
even know what that is.
Safe.
Wait, did you play any sports? I know you went to Performing Arts High School.
I didn't play any sports in high school.
Okay.
I played baseball when I was a little kid. Boring.
Boring, yeah.
It was so boring.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to pick dandelions in the outfield.
Yeah, Sam hated it.
It was terrible.
Wait, do you is that a? I don't want to go there automatically. Sorry, I just might.
Is that a gay thing? Are you gay?
No, my question is
Oh.
because I called you Daddy. I was like, is that a weird? Is that a specifically female thing? I've only really heard girls say Daddy. I've heard what sounds like gay guys making fun of girls saying Daddy. You know what I
No,
mean?
gay guys say it.
Okay.
I think.
They say the life cycle is black women say something, then gay men say it, and then straight women say it.
Right.
That's like the life cycle. So I wondered what all went through that whole thing. You know?
You were wondering what went through the hole.
Yeah. It's all my mind.
Daddy.
Hey, Daddy. What goes through the hole?
It's not in my practice.
Okay.
But I also am like,
My practice.
we're like, me and my boyfriend are 26. Who's the father in this situation?
That's fair. That's fair. Just curious. I hate fashion, so I'm glad you've.
You hate fashion?
Is it obvious?
Then why are we friends? I'm the most fashionable person in New York City.
I can't stand it, dude. It's just too much.
I love dressing up.
I get there's something to that. I guess if you extrapolate, like sometimes putting on like a full suit feels nice. I guess, right? Like sometimes I get the feeling of that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just extrapolate to every day, I want to look nice. I guess is where you're coming with that.
Yeah.
It seems
crazy.
Seems very fake to me.
My outfits seem fake to you?
Everyone who's got like a real outfit on feels fake to me.
Why?
Like what I'm saying is the desire to do that feels fake. Not the like I get it, you put it on or whatever, but I never have been like, oh man, I really want to wear today out of anything in my closet. And I've never been to a store where I saw something that had evoked that emotion in me.
That's so weird. You're the weird one for that.
No, I'm not the weird one.
Yes, you are, dear.
The guy who would wear a full Eskimo suit probably if it was the right color, like.
You mean a native person suit?
I don't know. Do I mean that?
I don't know either. What I will say is I used to dress pretty normcore. And it's all about confidence, really. So I used to dress like typical musical theater gay with like a floral shirt and jeans or whatever, or shorts or whatever. And then I spent my summer in Virginia in 2020. And I was like, well, I already feel like the odd man out over here. Like I'm not like anybody else. So I might as well just wear what I actually like and feel really comfortable and confident in, because I already look like a freak.
Oh, okay. So it was more of a like, I'm already on the outskirts. I might as well fucking.
I might as well
up.
just do what I would want to do.
Yeah, and that's look like a referee.
Well, no, I don't want to look like a referee. Safe.
It's safe. You just keep doing the field goal or the score. You're picking other sports. Well, I just like a big pocket, like a hood, like being comfortable. I don't only wear hoodies, but I'm saying like I didn't pick this color like, oh, that's gonna really do it for me. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's just like, yeah, you dress to your comfort level or your what makes you feel good. That's kind of the whole thing about it. Wearing a hoodie and shorts does not make me feel my most confident self.
No. What does like an insane outfit do for you then? Like, why does it make you? What about it makes you feel?
I feel like
confident?
my insane outfits aren't actually that insane.
Okay. I will reserve comment.
I will say in Bushwick, I feel very normal.
Okay.
But maybe when I go other places, it can be more of a head turner. I don't know. I feel good.
I
don't
guess
know what
it's
to
what
say.
about it? Because I also, and this is my thing, so I'm definitely having a prejudice on this, which is the people that dress the loudest are also usually the most performative about "don't look at me." That drives me insane.
Do you find me to be that way?
No, I don't.
Oh.
But I'm saying, like, you also, to me, like you said, aren't the most performative dresser. Like, I don't know. I'm just curious.
I like to put a little bit of thought. I just like to put a little bit of thought into it, and a little bit of like, this color would be nice with this, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I get that. But like, you wear a Florida Georgia Line shirt for someone who doesn't like country music.
Right. Well, it's
What is
because
that?
they have a weirdly homoerotic relationship on that T-shirt.
It's just the T-shirt. You didn't know them like independently first, then saw a T-shirt and liked that.
No, I knew their song.
I love that their song.
I knew their
Cruise.
one song.
Yeah, the one.
But on the T-shirt, they're standing next to each other, and one guy's got his arm on the other one's shoulder, and they're kind of looking like this. And I'm like, I've seen that couple across the bar before. They bought me a drink.
Okay, cool. Do you know I have a bunch of anime T-shirts
Really?
that are, yeah, anime and fast food crossovers too. Specifically, I got at OhioCon a couple years ago. Basically, a big anime convention, and this is when I was lifting more seriously, and then my like other bigger friends. A couple of us were like, we're just gonna get a bunch of anime shirts to lift in. It's funny to
That's
deadlift
funny.
400 pounds.
Yes, it's very funny.
Yeah.
A lot of my clothing options are jokes.
See, that makes sense to me. I'm now back more on board.
And I feel like maybe it is. I don't know if I have social anxiety, though I did realize the other night I probably do have real anxiety.
Okay.
Because I was laying in bed just kind of like thinking about this situation that would never happen and being like, feel like I'm going to throw up.
This is
And I was
not
like,
good.
do normal people do this? Anyway, but I do feel like when I wear something loud, there's a built-in conversation starter, or I can be like, oh, I got this from this place, or that sort of thing.
You just said there's a built-in conversation starter, or here's an example of that same conversation starter.
Right. Well, people at my show came up to me and they were like, oh, I had like a fish necklace on that had a bunch of fish hanging off it. And people come up and be like, oh my gosh, I love this. I'd be like, well, I got it at a church thrift store for 50 cents.
Yeah.
And they would
I
go,
see.
oh my gosh, no way. And yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's what I'm saying. I understand some of the drive on fashion, and everyone should be comfortable in what they're wearing, and I've just never heard it described that way as a self-soothing, like it's your Temple Grandin hug right there. That's what that is.
Wait, what?
Temple Grandin was this. I think she's autistic. But she was
Okay.
animal researcher, and her whole thing was basically how like animals. Oh God, I just realized how dark it got really fast. Basically, how like she went after factory farming to be like, hey, we should do it like this, not like that. That's why now, like basically right before the cows get slaughtered, they turn a corner because they can't see it until they get right around
Ooh.
it. Anyway, she pretty famously came up with a box that'll give her a hug. Like the animals, it's like a squeeze box, it's a hug box to like. I think there's a part of it where again I think she's really autistic and like isn't good with physical contact, but kind of pioneered the research of like, no, it's a human need, is that touch and that compression and the pressure. So anyway, you're really autistic and your outfits give you a hug. That's what
Well, factory farming, mama. I'm ready. I'm ready for it, apparently. That's depressing.
We'll just sit in it for a sec. That's fine. That's what people want, right? It's the real me being definitely autistic and realizing it more and more on this podcast, not being able to not tell you that.
Did I tell you about my experience watching Love on the Spectrum? I think I might have mentioned it in episode 1.
Maybe. What was it?
Where they were talking about, like, Abby has an affinity for the Little Mermaid and under the sea things. And I, like, looked around my room.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Abby finds herself being too blunt in normal conversations. And I was like, oh.
Would you go on one of those dating shows if you were single?
Yes. And in fact, there's one I want to go on I think it's just called The Button,
Okay.
where it's like I've only seen clips of it on TikTok, but I know I would do really good on it. And you sit across from each other, and there's a big button in the center that's white. And you have a conversation, and if the button turns red, the first person to press it, like you're allowed to press it and cancel the person and get the next person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're trying to stay on it as long as possible. Does that make sense?
So, wait, it starts white, one of you dislikes it, and it turns red?
No. The button starts white, and then partway through the conversation, it'll turn red, and that's when you can press it to be like, next. But I think you both win if you like each other. But if you're the first person to press it, you get to keep going. Yeah.
It's Prisoner's Dilemma. That's cool.
And I think I would do so well on that show.
Just be shitty and just get everybody first. I'm
Well,
good.
what I really like is the directness afterwards, because after you press the button, they have to be like, "Why did you say no to me?" And you have to be, and they're usually like, "Oh, something, something." But there's this really good clip of this one girl being like, "Why'd you say no to me?" And the guy goes, "Well, you're just not cute." She's like, "I'm not cute."
That's so aggressive.
And I wouldn't do that, but I feel like I would really be able to have a dialogue of like, honestly, you seem interested in this. That doesn't interest me at all.
Yeah.
Like, I just think I'd be so good on that show. I'd know what to say.
You just want to be cutting to people trying to find a connection.
No, I also think, I mean, clearly we're both sitting here at a microphone. We think we're interesting. I think I'm interesting, and I think I could bring stuff to the table. I would totally go on a dating show like that, but I couldn't go on like The Bachelor or something like that.
No, I don't see the attraction in any of that. Of doing any of the, like, you know, Liz did the Beast Games. I can't imagine doing that.
No, I wouldn't.
Like, I am not financially precarious enough to need it, so I'm not going to look down on someone who does it. You know?
Right.
But I can't imagine.
I could imagine being like retired and doing it for fun.
Yeah, it all just seems so exploitative to me.
Yeah.
It also feels like, hot take, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, stop watching reality TV. You would be a better, happier person if you didn't watch it. It is, you know, the premise on stage used to be like, it is just porn from a different word. It's just you thinking of this fake thing as if it's real, tricking your brain into having friends. I used to say it's porn for straight women is what it is. It's bad actors under aggressive lighting pretending that they can act. It's what it is, right? And it's just a different fantasy than having sex. And like, at least I have the decency to not tell you about the porn I watch. I don't try to pretend like it's real news and entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, people watch The Bachelor and really want you to know what they think about it. Or people really think it's important to catch up on the lives of these people after they leave the show. It's like, or, hear me out, collectively just stop watching it.
I don't hate reality competition shows. I'm speaking almost exclusively about Drag Race. But that's kind of different than what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I can't speak to Drag Race as much. I hate most of the competition shows, though, because what they
even like Survivor and stuff?
Especially stuff like that. It is like exploitation of poverty.
Well, sure. In that regard, I kind of like the idea of the social game element of it. I think is fun. I don't watch Survivor because it makes me... I was on an online reality competition show once that my friend ran, and I don't even know how to describe the range of emotions that I went through. Well, I felt fucked up after this show.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because I was like, people I thought were really close to me had been like lying to me for half the time, and it was like mind-boggling to me. So I was like, I knew right then and there I would never do anything like that ever again.
Well, I can't make the real argument because...
But I find it interesting.
There goes more layers, right? Well, if we aren't going to put poor people on TV, well, then all of a sudden we just have a different range of experiences we can even experience through media, right?
Right.
So, like, there is a certain amount of we should have this on there because you can see these people crying over the fact that they can't afford a McDouble. Like, that does do something.
So I also watch Queer Eye.
Okay.
But this most recent season kind of had me gagged because especially there was this one woman who they like redid her whole apartment, and then they're showing her like every new thing, and she's like laying on the floor like sobbing like, how could this, I can't believe this is real, and you're watching her just like break the fuck down. And I couldn't help but imagine that the producer's like, in on two, zoom in. Snot's falling out of her nose, make sure to zoom in on the snot.
There's probably an acceptable range of people they'll use. Like if you've got it bad enough that you can react like that, they're like, I'm sorry. It's like on the forum. When was the last time you were at a soup kitchen? If it's 6 weeks ago, sure. If it was yesterday, you can't be on our show.
Probably. But it was, I was uncomfortable about the whole thing because I was just like, dang. Also, the whole idea behind it's kind of fucked because they're like, oh, like, let's help you improve your life. You have to take care of yourself. You have to do these things for yourself. I can't afford to redo my entire house for like $250,000 for my mental health. I have to eat.
That's the part of that. Because I've seen 2 episodes of that show.
Yeah.
And there always is one guy who's like telling him how to cook. And I was like, you think this guy...
Maybe we've talked about this in real life.
Maybe.
Were you the one who's like, he should take them grocery shopping?
No, that
or maybe that's
a
Patrick's
good idea.
take. And show them how to buy like ingredients and for cheap as possible and how to sustain a meal prep thing.
Well, and even then...
He's teaching him how to make fucking guacamole. Meanwhile, he's wearing like a shirt cut to here showing his like belly button ring or whatever. And it's like...
Right, good. He'll be able to entertain on the weekends. Like, that doesn't help. And it's also people... people don't cook because they don't
These
have
people
time.
are working 4 jobs.
Yeah.
They're not having a soiree.
Oh, good. I now have a patio I can have people on. Like, yeah, I want to know if they have to sign a contract to not have to sell the house. Because like, please, can I sell this and go live in my shithole, but actually be able to afford my medicine?
I wonder if they do.
There's like those contracts are crazy.
Yeah.
Like when I was in college, Danielle Bradbury won season 4 of The Voice, best season in my opinion.
Shout out to Danielle Bradbury.
She was like 19 when she won The Voice. She's one of those.
And her name's Danielle?
Danielle.
Oh.
Sorry.
I forgive
But
you.
she came to... Please, I didn't mean it. Don't hit me. He hits me when the cameras are off. My
It's
reaction
Danielle!
my reaction was so slow. That was such bullshit. He went up and I go, oh, right, I'm supposed to be afraid of that. But she won The Voice season 4, and then she came to my college. It was like 2 or 3 years later, and she still had to mention The Voice like 3 times from her contract. Like, if you win.
So that's the thing. You want to come in second place.
Right, because then you don't have any of the stuff, right?
And shout out to, I think her name's Ruby Lee.
Okay.
I've watched her audition video last season probably 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I want to be a cowboy sweetheart, yodeling, hey. And she does this full yodeling thing that's insane. Like she's doing backflips, somersaults, all of this like vocal work.
Yeah.
Came in second. And I was like, thank God Ruby Lee came in second. Because I don't want her on that Voice contract. I want her to be pushing her own shit
I wonder
out.
if they're getting to the point of...
I bet they are. I bet they own everything anyway.
Yeah. I bet I talked to one of the people that season. I backed their album. I liked them that much.
Whoa.
There was a duo on there. Their name was Midas Whale. Because you're going to start a band? Might as well. It's a stupid joke. It's great, right?
That's
they were
great.
a 4-chair turnaround. They were awesome. They were like a country folky kind of thing. And I was like, for one of my graduation gifts, I was like, I don't want anything, just back them on. Like, I was like, I'm all in on this group. And one of the perks for the TRD was like you had to like Zoom with them for an hour, and they talked about that.
For an hour?
Yeah,
That's a long time.
like $100 in high school. Like I was like cobbling money together to back them. But yeah, they were like, and I asked them. They said one thing was like, they wish they'd done a different coach because
Who'd they pick?
I think they had Adam Levine.
Uh-huh.
Said that he just like showed up and left.
Well,
He's
sure.
Sure, it was season
Yeah.
4 though, so it's still early, so it wasn't like. But they're like Shakira seemed to like really care. They're like, I would have gone with Shakira. I was
I
like,
wasn't imagining that they actually invested any time.
I think some of them do.
Wow.
There was a while there were Pharrell was one of the judges. I was like, you're insane.
That would
if
be
you
fucking
don't pick
cool.
Pharrell.
Yeah.
Pharrell's who you pick.
He
the
can make your
biggest
fucking
producer in the
career.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just has to want to use your voice as a sample. Like
Right.
he don't even have to. Yeah, I don't know. I could. That's what I'm saying though. Like I get the fun in these shows and I do like them, but at a certain point I do just go like, yeah, is this? Could we collectively be investing in something better? Like
That's how I feel about superhero movies.
yeah.
Where I'm like, why are we spending $30 million to make a movie about saving the world instead of just using that $30 million to save the actual world?
Yeah. It's or why is
But it's like this weird porn about the U.S. being amazing.
well, it's this huge military propaganda.
Well,
for
of
sure.
course. But also I'm just like, the whole goal is to like make people happy and save the world. We
We
could just do
that.
it.
Well, we also like why does every movie have to be that? Like, there are good things that aren't superhero related. Like, Joker shouldn't have been a superhero movie. There's no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you watched it. It was the first one was good. It just was. It was a remake of 2 other movies, but
I had this stand-up bit where it was about being a stagehand, and I was in a group of like 35-year-old men, and someone was like, "Oh, my favorite movie is The Joker," and I was like, and my face flushed and my hands went white, and someone said, "My favorite's The Joker too. I love The Joker." I heard someone screaming and I realized it was me. I was just trapped in this situation where I'm like with 4 men all talking about how they love The Joker, and I'm like, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
And I just started running and running.
But it was just a movie about mental illness with Joaquin Phoenix. Why is that related to superheroes at all?
Sure.
In a previous generation, right? He's one of the great living actors, I'd say.
One of the greats. If you ever want to be on the show, we'd be happy to have you.
Yeah. Don't watch whatever he's putting out. Watch this. Watch us instead.
I've seen Gladiator. I've seen a clip from her on TikTok.
Walk the Line?
Nope.
No? Are you a biopic guy?
No, I hate biopics.
Really? I like a good biopic. Ray and Walk the Line are the 2 that I'm like, those are great.
Well, let me tell you what. The best one I ever saw, and it wasn't a biopic at all, was Spencer. I almost said Diana Ross. The Princess Diana.
Okay.
Because I'm about Kristen Stewart playing Diana Ross.
She did?
No, she played Lady.
Oh, it's Lady
Yeah,
Di.
yeah.
Okay.
But what I loved about it was that it was really almost like a cinematic deep dive into this like 2-week period of her life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's what I really liked. We got to learn a lot about her as a person. There's also some like a cinematic like happenings where like she's being kind of haunted by the ghost of Anne Boleyn. Did we do this on the previous episode?
We did at some point.
How do you say her fucking name?
Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn. And ambulance. Just being haunted by an ambulance. Wee wee. Anyway, so I loved that, but I hated the fucking Queen movie.
I didn't see it.
All of that shit. I'm like, we don't need birth till death, all the highlight reel.
The best story was Sacha Baron Cohen was supposed to play Freddie Mercury. Have you heard this?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Borat.
Oh, really?
He's a great actor.
I don't doubt that.
Okay, he's. Did you see him be the Thénardier in the Les Mis movie?
I've seen the Les Mis movie.
Yeah, the Thénardier.
That's him?
That's Borat with Helena Bonham Carter.
I never realized that.
Yeah. Anyway, he was supposed to play Freddie. He was on for a long time. Then he was talking to the band.
Master of the house, keeper of the
Yeah.
wind.
Horrible musical, by the way.
Horrible. Oh, Max.
The movie. The Hugh Jackman version?
We've got to move past this. I can't have an open dialogue about this.
Why?
It means too much to me.
No. It's my favorite musical. The movie is maybe the worst.
I don't agree.
So bad.
I mean, I love
Anne
love
Hathaway being even regarded as a good singer after that infuriates me. Dude, you are blowing snot bubbles. That song can move me to tears.
I think
that cannot. That performance was horrible.
No. I think it was a great idea for the movie to be, okay, here's my thought. Ready?
Hit me.
We've already got the musical. We need the movie. That's how I feel about every movie musical.
Okay.
So we don't need to see Les Mis how it's traditionally done in all the traditional fucking ways. I've had to defend this movie so many times in my life.
It's a losing battle.
I love that they were like, we're picking this raw, real direction because war is scary and shit is fucked up. So yeah, if she's a prostitute who's fucking dying of tuberculosis with her fucking hair cut off, she's gonna be crying.
She's not gonna be fucking singing though. She's not gonna be singing her feelings.
But
go ahead, defend why this is a good.
But it's what it is.
No, it's not. It's a musical. If you want to do it, do the fucking musical. Sing the song. Let me hear it.
No. I thought it was an inspired choice.
It was a downgrade on all fronts.
No. It was so real and raw. She does the whole thing in one take. Sorry, I just
that is not impressive. How many times do they do Les Mis every week when they're running it? Doing it in one take is the most infuriating. I saw someone.
I'm not saying she's amazing for doing it in one take. I'm saying it's a cinematic experience to watch it in one take.
Do you know how they shot it?
Yes.
With the in-ear and they didn't have.
Yes, and they orchestrated it behind it. I loved that.
I hated that.
Okay, and this is why we don't have any good fucking movies anymore. Is because people like you hate Les Mis and you hate Cats and you hate anyone who's trying to do anything different.
Dude, what are you talking about? They remade one of the highest selling fucking musicals of all time. You want a good musical? Have them write one and make one. You want to talk? You should be defending The Greatest Showman or something like that.
I've never seen it.
I'm just saying, if that you really were worried about the movie musical, why don't you worry about an original one, huh?
No.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You saw your argument fall apart.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No,
I watched
I think
your
it's
face.
wonderful. I think we don't need. I think any remake should be a reimagining. I think it's wonderful that they were taking this opportunity to show us a different side of the story, which is one that's more real and raw and visceral. I feel like the musical itself is very pageanty. We're all in curls. We're all in goofy dresses.
That if the music had been interpretable, that the lyrics had been interpretable, and like if you could interpret what the fuck she was saying, you didn't have to already know the music when she's blowing snot bubbles. Don't act like you.
Girl, you got to give it a rewatch because you can hear every word.
No.
Yes.
Also, again, if it were interpretable and done in a way, change all the other stuff with you, but the songs themselves, sing them, make them actual. It took away the thing you're using to defend it is not a defense of the part you liked. You liking the raw, liking it was darker and it wasn't this prance about. Sure, I'm for that for a war story, but making the music objectively worse to listen to did not support that.
I don't think it made the music objectively anything. I think I enjoyed the experience, and maybe it is because I had this prior experience of knowing it all very well, but I do feel that it brought a certain side to the music and a certain side to musicality that I found very interesting. This is a hilarious thing to have such. I love that impassioned argument about
dude.
that.
It's so frustrating that you're so wrong and so confident, dude. It's so frustrating. I feel like one of those fucking Jesus freaks on the corners who just love getting in arguments because they get to feel like a martyr. They're always like, people are coming at me for my religion. It's like, you're just annoying. Yeah, you do feel like that. You should feel like that right now.
Well, I'm getting a taste. But no, those are my opinions, and I do feel like that, and I do stand by it, and I do love that movie.
I will rewatch. It's another fucking Patreon. We'll watch it together and comment. I just couldn't stand the taking away. I Dreamed a Dream is such a moving song.
And I was moved in the movie theater to tears.
I was so frustrated by it. You were moved to tears by that?
I saw that movie in the theaters probably 4 or 5 times when it first came out. And cried my eyes out every single time.
Big fan of that Javert performance?
Well, no.
Okay.
God knows I wasn't a fan of that. Out in the darkness.
Do you know he's actually a good singer? Like he sings in a blues band regularly?
Prove it.
I will listen to his music. He's actually like a good singer.
Then what happened?
Dude, I've watched so many like 5-hour YouTube documentaries on this.
Really?
Yeah. This guy, he got hired very close to the date, didn't get a vocal teacher. Like they didn't give him anyone to do it.
What?
So he like kind of gets there and gets this whole like crash course kind of thing.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Indicative of the entire production.
And my question is always like, why don't they just cast Broadway actors? Like the name Les Mis is a big pull already.
Right. You don't need Hugh Jackman. You don't need Amanda Seyfried.
Hi. That's how he does that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she goes, in my life, there are so many questions and answers that somehow seem wrong. Love that movie.
Dude, no.
Love that film.
You're just being a contrarian. What were we saying before all this? We were in the middle of something I wanted to tell you.
I can't remember.
I'm so impassioned.
I just
by Les Mis.
screamed.
The first act of Les Mis to me is probably the best act in any musical I've ever seen. Yeah, I just love it. So I am an avid defender.
I love Les Mis. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know, man. The remakes, I can't do it.
We were talking about superheroes.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, biopics maybe?
Biopics.
I will say, you gotta watch. Have you seen Walk Hard?
No.
Buddy. Walk Hard. So Walk the Line was really good. It was Joaquin Phoenix doing Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Oh, this is what we were talking about. Sacha Baron Cohen. She's the Nardia.
Right.
He was supposed to play Freddie in the biopic, right?
Right.
And
that's where we were.
Yeah. So he was
Master of the House.
He was on Howard Stern. Don't watch that. Watch this. But he gave a great interview on there, where he talked about like he wanted to do the movie, it seemed great, but then he was talking to the band and like, yeah, it's such a great movie because it's got this really, really emotional moment in the middle of it, and then there's, you know, the other half of the movie to go through. I don't know how to do their accent, but he was
What
like,
was that supposed to be?
the other Brian May, basically the other members of Queen.
Oh.
And he was like, what do you mean there's this big emotional moment in the middle? And then it goes on. He goes, well, the movie's about how, you know, we dealt with Freddie's death and got through it together. He's like, that's not what this movie's about at all. And apparently that's what the final product was it? That it doesn't end with Freddie's death. It ends with them like doing more after that.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't. But can you imagine being one of the people in Queen and
There's
still?
this weird moment. There's so many things I didn't like about that movie in regards to queerness. Not to be that guy, but
All
they
of
give
it?
so
Homophobe?
much like gravity to this woman that he was in, like his first wife or whatever, that he was in love with before Queen happened.
Okay.
And they make that relationship like so strong and so impeccable. And they kind of make all of the gay stuff about AIDS. And there's this one point where he's like, you know, doing a lot of drugs. And then like there's like two like buff leathery gay men who are like standing in his house, like kind of menacing. And I'm like, are they just supposed to represent like AIDS and like sex being evil and bad? Like it felt so weird. And like the message at the end of the movie was to the girl being like, I'll always love you or whatever. And I'm like, he's gay. He's gay.
Yeah, it says you.
Yeah. The band is called Queen.
That is so, whose is that?
It was so disappointing to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see it. It didn't look good to me.
It was bad. I walked by Rami Malek on the street.
Did you tell him?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, F slur. Like, oh, you think you can play him?
I was a huge fan of you when you were the pharaoh in fucking The Night at the Museum.
Oh, is that really who he
Yes.
was? That's awesome.
It was such a jump scare. I rewatched it recently. Terrible movie.
All right.
No offense to Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller's the one. Robin Williams is the one who I think needs no defense on that. Or no
Well,
offense.
That's because I was not offended by his performance.
Okay.
Ben Stiller in this movie plays the most unlikable absent father on the planet. And I guess kind of learns his lesson, but he's so unlikable that...
It is crazy the level to which these characters were unlikable
Yeah.
in movies. You know, you ever watch Wedding Crashers?
Mm-mm.
Funny movie. I can understand why maybe it didn't hit your circle, but Vince Vaughn is like... Vince Vaughn does that well. A really unlikable guy that for some reason you like anyway because of his charisma.
Right. Well, there are people like that in real life.
That's true.
But Ben Stiller was just like, I'm like, you've got to be funny. And his jokes and stuff just like weren't funny.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, if you're just mean and not funny and you don't like your kid or whatever, then I just don't like you.
I don't want to. Why does your kid?
Then why
wanna
are
be
you?
around?
Why is this absolutely drop dead gorgeous woman in love with you for no reason?
Who's the love interest in that?
Who knows?
They're all the same. I get what you're saying.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, lame his movie good.
Oh my god, dude! I'm not even waiting for the overall. Overall, not true.
Overall, go fucking fuck yourself.
Where are we at?
At the end of the day, you're another day older.
Oh. I think the last musical I saw. Last musical I saw was Hamilton. That was good.
You mean on stage? Because you saw Wicked.
Oh yeah. I guess that was after that. I loved that. I still haven't seen the end, so I haven't seen the second act or heard the second act of Wicked. I have a thing where I don't want to watch the. I don't want to listen to the soundtrack before I see it.
Right.
I'm getting to the point where I think I'm going back on that because there's probably a benefit to because I'm never buying the good seats where I can hear everything perfectly, right? So going after you know what it says might be worth it.
Maybe you just have a hearing issue, and that's why you're mad at Anne Hathaway.
No, I have a horrible sight issue. Great ears. Don't you ever fucking dare come at me. I'm Daredevil, basically. Okay. Superheroes are the truth. We should make more of their movies.
So, I had something to say. Fuck, but I was trying to think of saying something about you.
Is Daredevil disabled? Are we gonna do this conversation? It's a blind guy who can echolocate. It's a superhero thing.
Right. He's not the one that's like kind of charismatic and bisexual.
Is that kind of all of them in their first movie?
No, I'm thinking of Deadpool.
Yes. Ryan Reynolds.
Oh. I don't know anything about Daredevil. I don't know.
No,
I'm not a superhero girl.
I do. I liked them. like growing up, I thought they were a lot of fun, and they can still make good movies and stuff. Like you could, if you watch, but it's also like, man, if you let me watch 18 hours of any movie series, I'll probably cry during it. Like if you put me through all the Fast and Furious, by the end of it, you're gonna care what happens.
In high school, I was a big fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I liked that.
Yeah.
I also loved that journey for Chris Pratt, where I was like, "Oh, you're a funny chubby guy, and now you're like the leading man.
Yeah.
Must be nice."
Must be nice. Must be nice.
What's that?
Hamilton, right?
Must be nice.
To have Washington on your side.
Oh.
Must be nice. I just doubled yours, like after you said it.
I see. Okay. I feel like we're noticing this pattern. Peek behind the curtain. If you can't tell by my pants, sometimes we record 2 episodes at once.
Yeah.
First episode, fun and light and silly. Second episode, we argue.
Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I'm okay with that.
Me too.
It's good. It's also
we're getting
good.
to a deeper layer.
Yeah, it's also good to disagree about stuff. I think that that's important, genuinely. I think if you disagree with someone, you should tell them.
You know what's actually really funny?
What?
I guess it's in our last episode, so that we had a big argument about the use of the R slur, and it was not nearly as impassioned about the Les Mis as the Les Mis movie argument was.
It's true.
We had a very civil conversation about it. Les Mis movie, we're screaming at each other.
Well, there's a scale of importance and like relevance to our lives.
Yeah.
I still can't believe you came out pro saying the R slur, dude. That's crazy.
Fuck you.
That they'll
Fuck
never
you,
know.
No, I would literally never say that.
You know what's great? I edit these, so no one will ever know where I cut. I want to know when you moved to New York, what was your like first thing? So when I came to the city, right? It was me and a friend who lived from West Virginia. We got in, put our loaded our car full of stuff, and then went to the bar 3 doors down. We didn't go, hey, let's check out, man. We were in off the Morgan stop on the L. We didn't go like, oh, let's get New York pizza. Oh, let's go to Times Square. Oh, we were like, there's a bar 3 doors down. Do you want to see what they're all about? What was your did you have a thing? You get here,
Do you
want to
know what's crazy?
What?
Before going to NYU, I did almost no research on NYU.
Okay.
And I just signed up for the stuff. And I got here and got all packed into my dorm, and my parents drove away, and I sat down on my bed and I Googled NYU dining halls because I was hungry
to go find it. That's cool.
I didn't even know anything about any of the dining halls. Didn't know where they were, how many there were, anything like that.
You just knew you had a dining plan.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you a trick. This is a good trick for any college kids. Even when I left campus, I still got a meal plan, but they did blocks, so you get 20 a semester or 30 a semester instead of how many a week or whatever. So I would do that because one, you can just go in and grab all the meats. You just get fill your box with hamburgers and then buy buns or whatever it is, right? So do that, but you always save one for the last week for finals week. And this was my tradition. I would buy a bottle of 1800 and a bottle of pre-mixed Jose Cuervo margarita mix, put them both in the freezer. And then I would, because those pre-made mixes are pretty weak, so I'd then put it in a shaker cup and then fill it up with tequila to make a stronger, right? Get to your whatever your last final is, and then as soon as I sat down, I'd start drinking the margarita. Never takes me more than 2 hours to do a test, and if I noticed, usually they're less than an hour, even though you get 3 for finals usually. Yeah. But it's I'd take a sip as soon as I sat down. And then I get the test and be like, okay, how fast can I be drinking this to not fuck up my finals?
Yeah.
And then go use that last swipe in the dining hall and sit there for 3 hours and get hammered on margaritas.
So I used to just I would swipe in because we had all you can eat places. Yeah. On my days off where I had to do work, I would swipe in for breakfast and stay there through dinner.
Yours
friends would be popping in and out, and I'd be doing work.
Ours flipped. They would not close. I think they would close for an hour or something like that because it wasn't the middle of New York City.
Yeah.
How many? Oh, you're NYU. How many people were playing guitar in the dining halls? Was it pretty regular?
I would say tons in the dorm rooms and stuff, but not in the. They were all too busy.
That makes sense. There was one guy who I remember my sophomore year just 2 or 3 times a week playing his acoustic guitar. I was like, you fucking asshole.
Come on, he's trying to pick up.
Dude, I'm the guy who brought it on my college visits and wasn't even that good yet. Like, now it makes sense. Now I do play most days. So back then it was just a way to like, maybe someone will see me out in the quad or whatever. But the dining hall, dude.
Yeah, dining hall is rough.
It's rough.
Yeah, no one was doing that in the dining hall. There would be like protests and like performance art and stuff.
Yeah. That makes sense. I'm pretty anti-college activist. I'm actually pretty anti-college in general, but it's because...
Well, we've talked about how we're anti-college.
This is true. But it's also like... The whole point... The reason I'm anti-college protest is because it's intentionally self-contained.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff at Columbia is... It's interesting, and I'm here to support the like people doing that. But at the same time, it's like... Yeah, but you're only disrupting this one thing that's siloed. That at the end of the day could sink, and it would not affect the greater world at all. You're not going outside of your congressperson's office. And I think it's intentional that they are all given these college platforms to shut down as a node that is completely independent.
Arbitrary. I kind of get what you're saying.
The instinct
I don't know
is
if
good.
I have an opinion on it.
Instinct is good. I also understand when the impact and the idea of going, hey, can we not invest in genocide? Like, I understand
Right.
all the things.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not saying don't do it, but it's so frustrating. Did I tell you this about the soup kitchen thing?
Mm-mm.
I go to soup kitchens every couple months to work, or community meals, whatever you want to call them. And every time I go...
Hashtag good boy. It's probably because you're such a good boy.
It's probably because I'm a good boy. But it's every time I leave, I feel so impotent. It feels like it's a way to disperse goodwill and calls to actions and pat you on the little head and not change anything. Everyone there, if there was a way to better, get the profit out of healthcare, right? Make government farms happen. If there was a way that I could be doing that, I would. And I feel that way about all these people. But instead, it feels like a pressure release valve for any actual foment,
Yeah, I do know.
That's fun.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So what's it like being gay, dude? Gotta go to the old classics.
I dreamed a dream. That's what it's like.
Yeah, having strong opinions that are bad about musical theater.
One of my first ever posts on Instagram. Let me see if I can bring it up. You're going to love it.
Oh, God. We're flipping the script where we read text off your phone this time?
Yeah.
Oh, on your sober journey, I have a thought.
Okay.
I'll let you do this, but...
I can listen.
Okay. I'm tired of, like, people wanting NAs at bars. Non-alcoholics, get it out of here. You want to have your own room, go ahead. Don't call it a bar. You're ruining...
It's Anne Hathaway as she's getting her hair cut off in the Les Mis movie.
Yeah.
And everything is a hashtag that I put in the thing, and it says hashtag now, hashtag life, hashtag has, hashtag killed, hashtag the, hashtag dream, hashtag I, hashtag dreamed.
Dude, it's just flash
I
over
had to come out.
dude. This was your coming out post?
It's so funny.
What was that? Were you in the closet when you said that? I know you said you were
It's
forced to,
complicated.
Okay.
I think I have another picture of Anne Hathaway
God.
on here somewhere.
Dude, NAs at bars, please.
I like a non-alcoholic beer.
I do too. They're fine if I'm trying to not drink, but there's a certain amount of like maybe they should stop getting served at 10:30. Go home. Everyone else here's a little bit out of their mind. A little. That's the point in drinking.
Well, let me tell you what I've experienced in my sober journey is I can sometimes be on the ride with people without being on the ride. So if I'm in a group of people that starts sober and then everyone slowly starts to loosen up, oftentimes I can just kind of loosen up with everybody without drinking because everybody else gets loose.
I believe that, but I also don't believe it's the same because your memory's working perfectly.
Oh, so you feel secretive?
There's a certain amount of like, hey, we're all going to be a little bit out of the shell we're normally in, right? People are going to act a little bit worse than they would sober.
I would agree with you if there were any fun spaces for non-drinkers.
Well, see, here's the thing, man. I'm not asking for fucking the mountain to have an escalator on it. I'm not trying to take hiking people's thing. They can have their space and their time.
Here we are on this space argument once again. Whose space belongs to whom?
Oh, sure. Yeah. And I would say.
And Max is saying drinkers' rights.
Yeah, absolutely. For the bars, they should have spaces for it. You guys, there should be little sober bars you guys can go
But
to.
those would suck.
Yeah, this is you're the bachelorette party coming in on the dance on the tables.
No.
just pulling from the collective.
But do you think sober people are a huge pull from the drunk atmosphere? If you're drunk, you don't give a fuck.
Sometimes, but I definitely know.
I want to be out and dance and have fun and talk to people.
Right.
I just don't want to put poison in my body.
All right, dude.
It's true. I want to wake up tomorrow bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I want my skin to look gorgeous.
I don't know, man. I maybe if clubs and stuff are different. My idea of a bar is probably not the same bar you're going to either. I want somewhere we're gonna sit.
Did you
and
just
talk.
call me a faggot with your tone?
I was laying it on
Probably
pretty
not
thick,
the same
so
bars
I hope
you're
so.
going to, you fucking faggot freak. Did you hear what he just said to me?
It's subliminal. I blank Morse code. No, I don't know, man. There is a certain amount of like, there's some NA ad on the subway right now that's like, this is not a beer ad, and it's some IPA that's non-alcoholic. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like if I go to a brewery or if I'm going somewhere and like the agreement is we're all going to get drunk, the guys who aren't going to get drunk go home at 11. That's pretty typical.
Well, that is what I do.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying not at all, but like I think at like 10:30, let's put the padlock on that fucking one, and you can get out of here. People are going to get a little out of pocket. People are going to dance and step on each other's shoes and not notice it. People are going, you know what I mean? There's a little bit more like.
Do you find that sober people are accosting you for your actions?
I have had that, and I have also wanted to do that when I'm sober at a bar, where you get annoyed more easily, right? Because you aren't drunk, and this drunk idiot just spilled on you, and it's a difference. And I'm just saying it is a, like, I know when I felt that way, other people could tell. So you can tell when there's a sober guy over there fucking being obnoxious, right? Or there's a group of sober people at a bar like rolling their eyes at you. It's like, hey, dickhead, go to a coffee shop. Oh, right, they're closed because there aren't enough of you right now. We're here to play pool poorly, you know?
I do get what you mean. I mean, I'm also, yeah. I feel like I've been that person in the past, but I'm not really often that person anymore. It also just has to do with like, well, sure, if you don't like the environment, you're the one who has to leave.
Right.
The environment's not going to change for you.
But that's kind of what I think asking for more and more NAs is doing, is changing the environment. Which there's an argument like we drink too much as a society. I'm not going to say we don't. So there should be more like sober spaces and there should be more availability for that. But there is an inherent difference in the night.
Well, maybe it's just growing pains, my dear. Maybe we're moving that way.
Maybe.
And there will be more separate spaces. But as of now, the entire culture supports. I mean, basically, our entire economy is based on drinking alcohol.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's going to be dissonance as that, if and when that shifts, which I feel like there's more young, sober people than there ever has been.
I also think I've heard that I heard that 10 years ago, too.
And I bet it was true.
You think? I actually going to argue this one, too.
Great.
No, y'all are less sober. You might be more, but you and younger, so much more weed than my people.
Well, that's true.
And that is genuinely infuriating when a pothead is anything. It describes themselves as anything but that. An addict who's taking a substance.
You don't have to tell me twice, Mama.
Yeah.
I believe weed can ruin people's lives. I don't know why I'm talking like RuPaul or something.
Just a
Honey,
good juxtaposition.
weed, get that stuff out of here.
Say no.
It's as big as a Chrysler or whatever.
I don't know.
That's
I tried to.
B-52s.
Yeah, I just tried to jump on. I was like, I'm not going to do a RuPaul voice. I don't.
As big as a whale, and it's about to set sail. No, I agree. I feel like I've seen people in high school and since who like they start smoking weed, completely changes their personality, depresses the fuck out of them. They get super addicted to it. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Weed's fine. I'll smoke once or twice a month maybe. It's like fine, but yeah, I don't know. You do want every bar to have NAs.
I don't know. If they don't, I have a ginger ale.
A what? What's the hard R on that shit? No, I don't know. There's something about. There's a bar back home called.
Is that like one of your canned bits? Like
Yeah.
you say that
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time you hear the word ginger.
Hey, fucking watch it, dude. It's disrespectful to my people. Yeah, it's an easy one.
Yeah, that's good.
It's really fun with a black girlfriend too,
Right.
because it'll frustrate and
And
entertain
everything's
her
more
every
fun
time.
with a black girlfriend.
Yeah, for sure.
You've got this amazing pass.
I do not have some amazing pass. I do not. I did not say that if you're watching. There's a bar back home called the Smiling
But I
Skull
feel like
Saloon.
you could do anything and be like, it's fine. I have a black girlfriend.
Oh, for sure. Hashtag yes, my shield. That's what this is.
You're just surrounding yourself with different minorities so you can say whatever you want and say that they're
full-on-
your friends.
Yeah.
That's funny. And it works.
Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. So there's a bar back home called the Smiling Skull Saloon that is open 365 days a year. You can go in there at 10 a.m. on Christmas, and it's going to be the same people sadly drinking.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who does that since his mom passed. He goes, because it's her bar, so he goes every Christmas to feel closer to her, right? I can't, if someone went in there and ordered a Heineken Zero, I'd want to put their teeth into the back of their fucking throat. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a piece, it smells like piss all year.
Yeah.
It is like people, like, I understand.
But I don't think that's a problem because all of those people are going to be at home, like, really anally wrapping presents as tight as they can.
That's probably true.
Which is what I do.
You get what I'm saying in terms of the space being like, not everything's for everybody. If you, like, I think there is a certain amount of, I want to change something in my life, but I don't want to have to do the difficult. I don't want to have to give anything up when I do it.
Interesting. Well, but like life's hard enough, right? So if I want to give up drinking, can't I have a non-alcoholic beer? Life's hard enough.
That's a good argument. Hey, man, dude, life's hard enough. Can't we just put them in camps? Same, that argument means nothing, dude.
No, I think it does because putting people in concentration camps and drinking
I
a
was saying
non-alcoholic
summer
beer-
camps. Why do you keep being... I was saying in the summer, I just want to not have my kids around.
Right,
you
of
keep
course.
making stuff bad. No, my point is life is hard enough. It's not an argument for anything. I can say that and then anything.
Yeah, but like no one's gonna die if someone orders a non-alcoholic beer. And you know what? That's probably not true. I bet it's
Someone's
some
allergic somewhere.
I bet it's some
Don't write
terrible
us.
system where infants are being squeezed of their juices to make non-alc, and then they get put in a big grinder and get chopped up into little pieces.
That's what's in the can.
No,
My point is though, like, there are times. It is what you talked about before with the like gay bar when a bunch of women come in. It's not, you are taking from what is already there, and like there is a space to be like, yes, come in here, this is great. But there's also times, and there should be places that's like, hey, get out of here. No, you cannot come into this gay club if you're a woman or if you're a straight guy. You like, this is a space for us.
yeah.
And then I just think, not that being drunk is an
Yeah,
inherent
drinkers
characteristic.
don't really have that community.
Well, not when it. I would also say, and this is me growing up in the country. There's no space anywhere in society to do things wrong. There's no place in society to like be foolish and 19.
I don't disagree with that.
And I would say, the sober person in the bar is squeezing that space out too. More likely to be like, hey,
How
shut
much
up,
of that
kid.
is internalized in you, though? Because I feel like there's a 90% chance that sober person in the bar is not thinking of you in any way.
I don't know. Maybe there might be some of that's internalized, but I really do think that I'm speaking from examples of me being sober or going like with a friend who's sober into a bar. Genuinely.
But it's kind of like, here's my thought and why I'm not taking like offense to this, but I'm on their side because if all of my friends are going out and hanging out with each other, I want to go hang out with my friends. I shouldn't have to drink in order to do that.
Sure.
And they're going to a space where drinking is the norm. Or it's like, yeah, if we go home for Christmas and people want to go to the bar and I want to go with them and spend time with them, we're spending time at a bar because they want to drink.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying like even if I come home or if like a roommate comes home and I've been drinking, it is less fun to hang out with them on a different wavelength, right? Or if they've been drinking and I haven't. I'm just saying it's different. That's all it is. The bars I don't think need to cater towards the person who wants to make the school.
It's different.
Go to the...
Backtracking.
What do you mean?
You were saying it's bad.
It is bad. I am absolutely saying it's bad. I'm sorry. I'm saying like it's not bad to not drink or it's not bad to hang out with them. But I'm saying the bar space is not a private space. It's a public space, right?
Well, you said it best. It's a public space.
Sure. Stop carrying NAs is what I'm saying.
For the public who wants it?
Yeah. There should be spaces that do that. I bet you they would have a different type of success and they have different folks there. I don't know. It is different being drunk. That you act differently, you interpret the world differently. It's the same thing as I would say.
Right, but I'm like, why do we need to create a safe space for drunk people? Also, drunk people act a fool on the street all the time.
It's different. It's the same as like you were feeling very much to me like a doubter when someone says, yeah, that when I was in that theater it felt different than when I was watching it at home. It just is different.
Say it again.
Watching like a movie at home versus watching it in the theater. You were feeling very much like someone's like, I don't know why you ever go to a theater. That's not different.
No,
I
don't feel that way.
But I'm saying the things you're saying right now feel the exact same as when someone tells me I'm having the same internal tummy feel of like, yeah, you don't have to get it. It is a different experience to be around a bunch of drunk people in public. I'm used to bars where you buy beer and you could talk to everybody at the bar and know more about them at the end of it. Maybe someone's there with one beer. It just feels like, again, a lot of the people not drinking right now annoy me. Not 100%, because I also, I'm drinking twice a month right now, I think. So I'm not even doing it that often. But I don't know. It's weird to me. It's giving so much, hey, cater to me. Because also when you go and you drink alcohol at a bar versus when you go and don't and drink NAs, when do you think you spend more money? You spend way less on NAs, right?
I think it's about the same. It's like $8 for a non-alcoholic beer.
I can't imagine spending $8 on NA. That's crazy. But
well, mostly we buy it. I would say 9 times out of 10, if I'm buying something at a bar these days, it's just so I can tip the bartender to be like, because I think that is really shitty. A shitty part of it is that bartenders, especially in like dry January and stuff like that, are bearing the brunt of this thing where it's like that's their livelihood or whatever. But that's the reason I'm buying anything in the first place, is to tip the bartender.
Yeah, I don't know. Stay at home. Invite your friends. Go arrange a sober outing. Why don't you go to a fucking book club?
But they don't want to have a sober outing.
Okay.
And I want to spend time with them. I just think you're being the judgy one and not them.
I am absolutely never arguing that I'm not judgy. I am absolutely judgy.
Right, so you feel uncomfortable by their judgment. Maybe they feel uncomfortable by your
Good,
judgment.
I'm okay with that. Don't be around
Right, so
me.
maybe we're okay with it.
Okay. So then...
But the bar doesn't belong to you, sweetie.
I agree.
So then there we are.
Then
you can sit there and be upset.
You're making the bar worse. I don't go to bars anymore. You're making them worse.
We've got to move on from this. We've talked about this for 35 minutes straight.
I don't know. What time is it? You have to go soon.
I know. You're just not more entitled to a public space because you want to drink alcohol. And also, I guess bars aren't public spaces because they're privately owned businesses. But if they want the money from
I would say
alcoholic drinking people.
Here's what I would say. You want to get into a certain mindset somewhere, and a place historically is for that. Compare it to a church. I'm not saying it's the exact same thing, but it is very similar. And I would say alcohol has been around a goddamn long time. And that is the thing people are used to, is having a place to go to feel a certain way with people who want to feel that way with them.
I guess that's your view on a bar. So I can appreciate how that might hurt your view of a bar.
What's the other view?
This is a place I just want to go to hang out with my friends.
Right. And I think it's fine to see a church that way too. But when someone who goes to the church for the purposes the church was built for, right, goes, hey, I just come to bingo because I want to hang out, but I'm saying the F word while I'm there. I'm saying God damn it while I'm there. Right?
I'm liking this argument. I'm kind of seeing your point. I'm kind of getting what you're saying
right.
more.
You're still allowed
I don't necessarily
to go.
agree with it.
Dude, go to the church auction. I go to that stuff and probably say God damn it when I'm there. I'm not pretending you can't go, but I'm saying I want people who want things to change or want things to be their way to admit that they want to change things for themselves. It's not the same. It is. I want people to own up to, like,
But you can appreciate how we're living in a society that's got a church on every single corner, and the only place people ever go is to church.
Yeah, 100%. It would suck.
So there's just no other option.
No, there's tons of options, but there's no easy option that feels like what it felt like when you went to church.
And that's what I'm saying, is life is hard. So why are we making it more complicated? Like, I'm not going to go spend a year of my life carving out a space for non-drinkers when I'm not passionate about other people not drinking. It's just a personal choice I'm making.
What? I'm not saying you have to go carve a thing out. What I'm saying is the thing that we bumped on in the beginning was me saying, like, it does change the space. And you were not acknowledging that as the part that I'm stuck on. You can say, I want to go anywhere, and be like, sure, fine. It does change the atmosphere, which this is what I'm saying. And this is, honestly, if you want to get into this is not going out, I know at this point. If you want to get into genuinely the deeper reason I think our side politically doesn't win is this argument right now. I think because you want something to be different, you won't acknowledge that it has to be different in a way that is negative to somebody. But just because I'm not entitled to it. Right? I'm telling you, this feels, you could put this in for most trans arguments, most gay arguments, most integration, most wealth inequality. It's not the same level. I'm not saying that, but this is the same disconnect that happens. Is I'm normally on your side on let's change things.
Right.
I'm actually only taking the other side to be an asshole at this point. But I'm usually on that we should change it because we should accommodate more folks for that. But the next step also has to be, I understand what it is doing is making something worse for you in some way. And that's how I feel coming out of it. And if you can't even acknowledge that, of course I'm never going to agree with you. Of course the person who can't, like, I don't pick the political argument you want to. If you can't meet them first at, yes, things are going to change. Yes, there is going to be a pain with it. I think it is better for it to change.
Sure. Yeah, I guess I feel like your want for non-alcoholic beers to not be sold somewhere just doesn't feel supported to me. Like, I don't know, it's just, it feels bigger than... I just don't get what the pain is about it.
Again, and this is what I'm saying, is at 1 a.m, I want the room to be full of a bunch of drunk people. I want to have the permission that
there
allows.
There will be a bunch of drunk people there.
Okay. You don't see any difference, though. If we get to, like, at what point, at 10%, 15%?
Well, I feel like if we're reaching those numbers, then things will change anyway. I think then spaces will separate themselves. But we're nowhere near there.
Okay.
Or at least the bars I'm going to aren't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't go to bars. I'm not passionate on this front.
And I hope I haven't hurt your... Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to get across because, like I said, this genuinely is the thing that... I keep finding this from different arguments. I don't know how to get across the thing I'm trying to get across, and that's what's frustrating me. Different people I talk to who I agree with on most things, we get to something, and I can't explain to them... I'm having trouble explaining to you that I really do feel like this bump is indicative of a broader bump in like culture of like I guess you can make this a like how men losing privilege is going to feel like losing privilege when other people gain rights. There's an argument for that, right? Mm-hmm. So the answer is not tough shit. Mm-hmm. That's not the answer. Like right now, women in their 20s to 30s make like 15% more than men do. That's a new thing, and that over time that goes away. That's like the research right now. Right. And so the big thing in England just came out about that big study where all these men are like, it's gone too far. Affirmative action, that's bad. You don't tell these guys. You don't. I don't know. You want a space where you want to be able to hang out with your friends when they're drinking. Yeah. I want a space to be able to get drunk with drunk people. I don't even really want it that bad. This is just an argument. But I'm saying, it's infuriating that right now the other side is you're at the end of the day. It's this is what I want. I think I should have it. It doesn't feel like you're able to see what I'm losing or speak to that or have any like, not even just acknowledgement, but like plan solution or reason. That's why I said they had like 11:30. Lock that shit and get them out of here.
But then it's the other side of. Well, then what about what I'm losing?
But you chose to. You chose to stop drinking.
And you're choosing to drink.
Right. And but we were all choosing to drink. This thing was built for people who were choosing to drink. This experience you had when
I think this place was built to make money. So if I'm going there and supporting with my money,
if you had never drank, you wouldn't go to bars.
I don't know if that's true because everybody goes to bars.
I've got friends who are sober, who have been sober. They despise bars for the most part. They'll go during the day maybe, but no one goes on a Friday night to a bar who's never drank. That's not a thing you're doing because that never was going to be fun for you.
Yeah, I think we're definitely just not seeing it the same way.
Yeah,
and I'm definitely getting parts of your argument, but I'm also, I don't think I should feel excluded because I no longer want to partake in drinking alcohol and I have to lose out on this entire side of my life. Like that doesn't quite make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's not like it should be a one or the other.
Because I like going out, and I like having fun. Right? So I don't know why it's like now lock the doors at 10:30 for this guy who's not drinking, when it's just like it improves my life to not drink, but also I like to go out and have fun.
Sure, and
I can have my cake and eat it too. It's okay.
Why do people use a phrase to mean the
I
opposite
don't know
of what
that
it means?
phrase.
You
There's another phrase like this that drives me crazy. If I can just really quick.
Yeah. You gotta go. Right?
We'll have to wrap up soon. But it's blood is thicker than water. Do you know the original?
Blood of the covenant is
thicker than the water of the womb. So it's the blood of the people like
you choose or more than
yes.
Your yeah. You cannot have a cake and eat it too. If you eat it, you no longer have a cake. That's all that phrase means.
I've never understood that phrase.
You can possess a cake, have a cake.
So you actually
can
fully
eat a
technically can't have a cake and eat it too.
That's
you
all
either
it means.
have it or eat it.
You eat it.
So that doesn't serve what I was trying to
That's
say.
what I was trying to say. I was like, I don't understand what you mean. You can't. You literally can't do both. I'm. That's it. Like physically can't.
I think I can.
I think. Look at this waist.
If
Do you think I can't
could,
do
I
both?
could.
Yeah, and yeah.
You
Again,
just have to throw it up after.
what happened, you?
This might have to get cut too. I can't even say it. I'll tell you after.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's again. You changed, and now the bar's changing with you, and I don't have anything against that. But Margaret, I don't know. I would love for a bar to be like, we don't sell NAs. If you want to drink here, come drink here.
I would say there are many places like that.
Sure.
So one of my first nights not drinking and really going out was with my boyfriend and his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like a crazy person because at the restaurant we were at, like the waiter came over to me like 3 times being like, "Are you sure you don't want anything? Are you sure?" And I was like, imagine if I actually was like an alcoholic, like with a serious alcohol problem and addiction. I would feel like that was just at the restaurant. I ordered food and appetizers, and it's not like it was like a money thing. And then, yeah, truly at the bar, like we knew the bartender. He came over to us like many, many times being like, "Are you sure? Just soda water? Like I can get you something. It's totally fine." I'm like, no, please. Like the amount of times I was offered a drink in that night was like so shocking and jarring to me.
Yeah.
And it was all based in niceness. Like everyone's just trying to like, be nice, but it was really eye-opening and kind of crazy to me because just to imagine, like, I feel like I would assume as a waiter, like if I sat down and someone was like, "Just a soda water with lime," I'd be like, "Oh, that's an alcoholic."
Yeah, that's the alcohol.
Let me not offer him alcohol.
I'll tell you, one of my buddies, he goes sober every couple years for a few months, and what he does is he goes to AA meetings. Never once speaks, has no interest, does not think he's an alcoholic. But you want to hang out with drunks and talk, and you don't want to drink. That's where all the drunks that talk are.
That's
it's a great
fun.
social place.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I think overall the point in this to me is,
it's time for overall.
yeah, the whole overall on that overall, the Les Mis movie is much worse than the stage musical. But overall, it's not a point of like, you can't be there. They should really lock the doors, or whatever. I just think there is something special. If everybody takes ayahuasca, and you don't, and you're there,
right?
Kind of fuck you, right?
No, I agree with that.
Scale. Alcohol's the same direction, much lower magnitude.
I get what you're saying, but there isn't a culture built around everyone going to get ayahuasca every day of the week.
I understand that, but independent of that, I am saying
I get that.
Yeah. Also, again,
and I love you.
I don't go to bars. Yeah, I love you. I don't go to bars. This doesn't affect my life.
Yeah.
And also, you've missed so many good arguments. What if I just want to get dinner at the place I always go to? What about during the daytime? There are so many better arguments than yours for why bars should have
I think I
NAs.
really represented.
I really don't. But anyway.
And I think, you were arguing that bars shouldn't have NAs. I was arguing that people who don't drink deserve to exist.
No, they deserve to exist in every space.
And I agree with that.
That's not an identity, it's a choice. I just don't believe alcoholism's real. So that's actually a fun one. I have friends that have done their masters on that have been sober for a long time. That the AA like addiction mentality is like probably more damaging than.
Yeah. Overall, what else do we fucking talk about?
Basically, Les Mis and NAs.
Mostly that. Yeah. Overall, argue twice with your friends.
I love arguing, dude. People at the end of it think something's wrong. I'm like, overall, good to know.
Overall, instead of producing a superhero movie, actually save the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good.
Overall.
This one's not coming out.
Really?
I don't know. It felt like it got heated twice. I'm happy for it to come out.
We can cut the second one down a bit.
We'll find it.
Overall.
Did we cut the half of the one we did last week with the half of this one? Do a lost
we could
tapes?
release, just a full arguing 3-parter.
Just 3 hours of us arguing.
Overall, goodbye.